Peace, everybody. Welcome back. It's Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey, and we have my lovely assistant here. Lisette Taib. Right? Am I saying it right? Oh, my bad.
No, oh my God. See, this is Lisette Zahida Taib Bey.
Yeah,
for the record.
That's what I meant.
There you go.
We're going to talk about the importance of standing on your square, standing on what you know is true. You see what I'm saying? Because especially when it comes to court, because we already know we're dealing with these criminals, and we already know our people go through the system and blah 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 blah. But I kind of wanted to put focus on it because like there's a lot of like Moorish groups on Facebook, and they talk about law stuff, and you can tell that most of these people haven't been to court. Like they're just using rhetoric like, oh yeah, Negro black color means something fake. You know, the magistrate knows this, but they never sat or stood in front of a judge. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's different when you actually taking this knowledge with you, like not the actual book, but it's in your head, and you're going there with just your word. You know what I mean? And you're facing all these people who are all conspirators, and they got the sheriff in there with the gun, and you know their whole crew's in there, and you're dolo, or just the one other more you're with, and it's kind of like it's scary, but once you realize like this is my right I'm standing on, all that fear goes away. You know what I mean? So that fear needs to go away for you to stand on your square like this is what it is, this is what it isn't. I know what you're trying to do, but we ain't going there. So that's the importance of you know, standing on your square and standing on those principles. So again, a lot of people have a lot to say, but they haven't actually been to court, and they don't even know where the court is in the state where they live. You know what I mean? So I want to talk about that because let me see here. One of the main things people need to realize is that these so-called courtrooms aren't courtrooms. They're pretty much commercial auctioning blocks, right? Where the attorney, who's really a bondsman, right? Where the attorney means to turn over, he's turning you over to the court. So it's kind of like he's the one auctioning your body, right? That's why he always cuts a deal. And what's assumed is that our people are declared civilly to mortus, the Negro black colored, meaning mentally incompetent, right? So that places us in the ward of the state status. So remember we read Improper Personas Sui Juris? Right, we'll go into that again. So that's why Noble Ali said Moors, be yourself. You know what I mean? And then he says study, 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 right? So we're going to go into Improper Personas Sui Juris real quick, just because it's very relative to where my point's trying to go. So they place attorneys on our people because we're not in our own proper person, because we're not in Propria Persona Sui Juris, right? So here's what it reads. Right, yeah. So impropria, so this is Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Improper persona is in one's own proper person, right? It is the rule in pleading that pleas to the jurisdiction of the court must be pled in propria persona, because if pled by an attorney, they admit the jurisdiction. Why? Because an attorney is an officer of the court, right? Corpus Juris Secundum, Volume 7, right? Boom, 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 boom. As an attorney is an officer of the court, and he is presumed to plead after having obtained leave which admits the jurisdiction. So it's pretty much saying you're a ward of the court, right? A ward is a minor, someone who's mentally incompetent. That's what minor means. So since you're considered that artificial person, that all capital letters name, you're considered dead anyway, so you can't speak. Walmart can't speak. You see? So not only are they getting us mentally, they're getting us on the record that all capital letters name can't speak. You see what I'm saying? So when you write in your affidavit, the one that we wrote, Improper Persona Sui Juris, you're saying, I ain't dead. Clearly I wrote this, the thumbprint, boom. You see how it links, like the thumbprint and the signature links it to a human being? Because a lot of people say, you know, do the signature, do the thumbprint, but they don't know what it means. They're just saying it because they heard someone say it. You see? So it's kind of like when you write Improper Persona Sui Juris, you know what you're saying. You see? Minors don't know, so they put attorneys on us. You see what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like back in the day, they say back in the day when they had us all in the chains and they said 25, 55, 55, 55, and they were auctioning niggers, right? They were quiet. The auctioneer was speaking. The attorney was speaking for them. That's what happens in the courtroom. Because they're dealing with commercial contracts, you see? So, and this is what I was telling you back in the library, when you was going on saying, this person that you're talking about is not me. And you kept objecting, you kept objecting, you kept objecting to clearly establish for the record that that's not you.
Yeah, but there's certain things that must be established before you go forward with any case. So it's like jurisdiction. So let's get through that first. Let's get through that step first, and then come talk to me about some other shit.
Yeah.
Because, excuse my French, but it's just, there's levels, and when you're dealing with these quote-unquote courts, as they like to call themselves as, which they're not, they're acting in that favor, but that's actually not who they are. What happens is a lot of people become lost, and they're not taught law. So it's like when you step outside and you're taught language and you're not taught legalese, it's easy for you to then bind yourself to these contracts with these people, well, entities. So at that point, you must be careful, because there's also people that do know the law, but even when they do enter these tribunals, they actually still make mistakes, and they still end up pleading or just still waiving their rights. Yeah. So it's like, even though people may have certain knowledge, it's like if you're really not going to stand on it and fight on it,
it's useless.
It's useless. Like me, I'm going to always object. Like, I don't care. And it could be in regards to my appellation. It could be in regards to the exact allegations of whatever the hell they're trying to say it is, because I still don't know. Yep. So, because the issue is always going to be of law and fact. So
what I notice is people don't know that the issue of law supersedes the issue of fact.
That must be established first before you go into that.
Exactly. Exactly. So, one of the things, my cousin, he wanted me to help this more with this issue where the police found like cannabis on her. They call it weed, right? Or they call it drugs. The issue of law is already declared that we have the right to maintain cannabis, right? That's Article 24, Rights of Indigenous People. So that makes it an issue of law. So the issue would be, is it illegal for this person to have this? You argue that, not how much weed you had on you. Not how much fines you're going to have to pay. Because I was trying to explain that to her, like, don't argue that. Argue what the law is. Issues of law precede issues of fact. So don't argue how much you had on you. Argue the fact that Rights of Indigenous People, Article 24, states that Indigenous people have the right to maintain all medicinal plants. Cannabis is a medicinal plant. Weed and marijuana is not. Cannabis is. You see what I'm saying? So you argue cannabis, not weed and marijuana, and how much you had on you and how much you had in the bag. Either way, they're criminals. You see what I'm saying? But if you get it on the record, that's what really counts. As long as you know issues of law instead of issues of fact. Because that emotional thing, because the situation that our people are in is not fun, right? This woman, she has like 3 children. So she's worried about being arrested and being able to get a job. Like, it's more, like, you know, we're talking about this law stuff, and we've been through certain things, but it's for the viewers who haven't been what you've been through, and you have children too, facing these so-called magistrates and these Europeans on your land trying to rob you and put you in jail. Like, this affects people's lives. This is a genocide. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, yeah, we have the luxury to talk about it because we lived through it, but there's certain people that aren't going to be able to live through this. You know what I mean? Like, people need to know, watching these videos, the severity of the situation that our people are really in. Okay,
but you gotta understand, there's some that will, and then there's gonna be the group and party of people that's not gonna understand the severity until themselves are placed in that position where they have no other choice but to suit up and get going.
And you know what sucks about that? A lot of people hit my inbox saying, "Oh, I got caught tomorrow." Like, what? I can't put this in your head. And you got caught in 3 hours? Like, how you expect me to help you? You see, like, people, and you're right, people don't understand the severity of it until they're in it. Like, oh shit, I better link with some more because they know what they're talking about. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's sad. Like, when I started learning this stuff, I wasn't in those negative situations, but I seen like, oh, these Europeans are screwing our people through the whole judicial system, and our people know it. So wouldn't it be smart if I learned law?
See, me, I already knew stuff was messed up from the jump. So it was like, when I got into my legal issues, that's when it was like, now I really have to go hard in regards to like studying law and everything else. It's, I don't know, it's just a notion I already had.
Yeah,
but that's the thing, that people know.
Yeah.
That they're slaves. People know that things are not supposed to be the way it's going. Like they know about genocide. Like, even if you watch, I don't know how many people out there watch like worldwide news and see like other things that go on in other countries, but it's really interesting when you like, oh my God, you think America's bad, and then you're like, oh, and look at everything else.
And you know what's kind of annoying for me? Like, our people, like, you know, situation with Libya, all those slaves and stuff. Are people like, what are we gonna do to help them? You don't even realize that we're in slavery too. You don't even know. So how are you extending yourself?
But how do you gonna help yourself? Like, period. Like that.
We gotta be good here first before we even think about Libya. And our people, some of our people don't realize that they're slaves right now.
Okay, because they're accustomed. Like, that's the thing. People were indoctrinated and raised a certain way. Where growing up, they were taught, you need to get a job, you have to have an education, you have to have this, you have to have that, you have to know how to do this. So it's like when you're raised to be that way, and that's what you're told is the way to get through life, and that's what living is. That's how you're gonna act in that capacity.
But that's a choice. Right? I grew up in the projects. I grew up in the hood. Me and you, my camera lady, we've been through the project. We lived in New York, Astoria, Queens, 6-story apartment building. And we're dealing with knowledge. We're not a product of our environment. We chose to be a better person.
I'm not saying.
No, hold on. Let me make this point. Okay. Some of our people are choosing to be that. You know what I mean? They're choosing, they're allowing to be a product of their environment. They're not striving to be anything else. They'd rather be that because it's an excuse. Like, they like to point the finger at the European, like, oh yeah, they're doing this to me and they don't want to do nothing. That's a real issue we have to face too. Yeah, we're in poverty, but why are we content with it? You see?
I get it. I do.
I mean, I'm just saying, you know, we're pretty much making the same point, but we're on different sides of the coin.
Hey, you always do that, but you know what? Well, okay.
What? I always do what?
Never mind.
Just play devil's advocate.
Who, me? That's what I do? Really?
But it's good. It's good discussion to have a full discussion.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like, I know you can't keep blaming the Europeans for doing what they're doing. Like, to me, it's like, right, when I was younger, what grade I was in? 3rd grade? No. I think it was in the 6th grade, right? I was leaving class, and some bullies, right? Some bullies came up and said, wow, wipe my shoes off. And I said, I didn't dirty your shoes, I'm not wiping them off. And then, you know, their friends came, it was just me, there's like 4 of them, and I was at my locker, and it was like, wipe my shoes off. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I didn't step on them, so I'm not wiping them, right? And then my friend, I don't want to say his name, he came up, and he was like a little slow, and they said his name, said, hey, wipe my shoes, and he got down and started wiping their shoes. I'm like, what are you doing wiping his shoes? You didn't mess him up. At a certain point, we got to stand up to these bullies. You can't just say, oh, they're bullying us. Like, nah. And if you see your brother doing something, like, get up. Just wiping this guy's shoes and you didn't do nothing. Right? At a certain point, there has to be a time where we stand up competently, like, we're not doing this anymore. We're not gonna let you kill one of our people on the streets and then you go to your tribunals and we know that these Europeans are gonna let you off the hook. Come to our courts and we'll say, you know what, based off what we decree, you're guilty. Right? So when are we gonna step up besides just, oh, it was the European who did it?
Okay, but this is the thing. This is my point. It's fine and dandy you made all those points, but my point is, the only people that are going to gain this knowledge is people that's actually looking for answers and they want to find out these things, or people that end up in situations where they have no choice but to turn to that. So it's like, unless someone shows them, or that's something they're going and looking for to figure out, they're not going to know about it.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
So it's not that I'm not saying people don't make excuses and don't choose like their reality. Because of course everything plays on how you react to it.
Yep.
So, the point I'm making is, people will only know about this if they want to know about it,
or if they're exposed
or
to it.
they're exposed to
Like
it.
you said,
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's like if you don't have that person teaching you or showing you these other things, then whatever the hell you've been getting taught your whole damn life to think is the way of living, that's what you're gonna do. That's how you're going to operate until you see otherwise, or you're in a predicament where you have no choice but to see another route and seek that other route. So, like, no, it's not that. I'm not saying people don't have, like I said, control of their reality.
Yeah.
It's just the point that who's really giving them this access?
True, that's true.
So it's like you could blame them half, but not completely 100%.
Yeah.
So it's like it's difficult because
You're right.
no matter what, you're only gonna have a certain amount of audience and a certain amount of people backing you because it's gonna be their passion and why they feel the need to know certain things.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I absolutely do. Yeah.
I mean,
but also, I play devil's advocate. Okay, right? A lot of our people do know there's something wrong. Me and you both know certain people who we know that they know there's something wrong.
okay, but perfect example. What did you say yesterday? Without this, I can't live.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
But
so,
at least, hold on.
All right, go ahead.
At least know what's going on and be able to explain it. Because hold on, because right, when they arrested me, if I didn't know how to sign contracts, they would have kidnapped me already. I made that contract void. For the record. You see what I'm saying? So you can still use knowledge. Yeah, there's certain things going on. Yeah, you still need to use this, but you can get out of certain things. So why not know that? Why not choose to learn that instead of saying, oh, well, I still need this? Excuse. As another example, right?
Okay, so half of the people that would need to get access to these law books, they would need Federal Reserve notes.
Yep.
So, they don't need what?
Now.
I'm not saying that's the way, that's
agree.
Rich living and that's the way of life.
I agree.
Because believe me,
I agree. Look,
I know about
I'll be the first one to
it's
admit
being overthrown and it's not I carry it too.
Yeah.
Like,
Whoa.
like this is not real to us.
Now listen to me.
Like,
You're
please.
right. We do need this to get this. But don't our people get this and then they buy fake jewelry, they buy Jordans, they buy shit that doesn't matter.
Okay, like I said though, the point is that's not going to be spent. This is not going to be spent on those.
Yep.
All right, because they have no motive for it. There's no reason until they have a reason to say this is what I need and want. They're not going to go get this. They're not going to look for the information.
And here's my thing. Those very people know there's something wrong. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
Those same people, right, that you're talking about, they know there's something happening to our people. They know there's something wrong. They call it racism. It's not, but they know there's something wrong.
Terrorism and everything else.
Exactly. You're right.
So
why
but we
not?
know that.
I know, but we're talking about those people who know there's something going on, but they're not.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying, and that's why they're always gonna feel like there's no way out because they don't have another perspective and another way to look at things.
Well, that's and this is my point, right? Because I talk about the Moorish Science Temple of America, how they've been granted through Prophet Noble Drew Ali vicarious powers to help fix the situation that our people are in. But like Noble Drew Ali said, there's enough work for everyone to do. So why not just listen to it and then figure out, oh, how can I be part of this to help fix my situation, right? And this is why I put this in my book, right?
Okay.
Let me just go to what did I say? He said, commitment problems. That's Negro problems. That's really what it is. Because if you find something you know is good for you, that you need to be doing and you can't commit to it, that's sin and disobedience. You should be a slave. And that was from Grand Sheikh Haru Renzi Il. He said that. So, right? Another example, rights of indigenous people have the right to our land and resources back. These Europeans got to pay for our houses for us to live in. I'm telling our people this, they don't want to enforce it. Why? Why? And I'm not expecting you to answer that, but all that passion that you're saying, these people don't have this information, and I'm presenting you with, You know what the Europeans owe us? And you're like, that's a Negro problem. So we're dealing with multiple levels of...
Yes, because some people will accept the
these.
information and other people won't.
And what I'm saying is, and you're saying, and I'm agreeing, like, you're not going to accept this information unless you're in a situation where you need it. But our people are in that situation right now. Or unless you're one of those
people that are like, you know, you want to know your life purpose, you question other things, you're on a road to find out personal self and get in touch with your inner self. So that's what I mean.
And I'm trying to build upon you saying some people won't seek this unless it's right in their face, like there's an issue. But the whole situation with the so-called racism and police brutality, police terrorism, that's a situation that we're in. We're in this. Our people complain about this all the time. So it's already here. So when are we gonna go to this? You see? But what I find is it's easier to complain and point like, oh, the Europeans did it. Instead of it, and it will be way more difficult to talk about this and promote to our people, hey, let's elect our own sheriffs to protect our communities. Our people don't have communities.
Exactly. When do people unite?
And here's what I believe is going to happen, right? Once they realize they have a sense of ownership. Like part of this situation was these Europeans told us we're from somewhere else, so we don't value the land at our feet when it's our land. We got that social disconnect, like we don't even know that this is Africa that we're standing on, which is North America. We don't even know that. Back in the day, continents were connected. We've always been here. So that whole even slavery story, we talked about in my other video, with the Europeans lie and said that they brought us from somewhere else, that's part of the disconnect. Once our people realize, oh crap, this is my land, they're going to have a sense of pride and ownership. Then they're going to move forward. Okay,
but people have been disconnected and vibrating on lower frequencies for how long? So, I mean...
That's an issue.
I'm not... Exactly, it is an issue. It is. But, I mean, it's... Some people just... It's that leap of faith. They can just take it and go with it. And then other people are like, what about my house? What about my mortgage? What about my insurance?
And
about
also,
everything else?
Also,
so,
because you mentioned insurance, right? Now, I try to at least always carry this information around.
Okay, I know about this.
I know you know, but this is for, on the record too. Okay. Declaration on Human Rights. Because, a lot of our problems are economic too, money, Declaration on Human Rights, United Nations Declaration on Human Rights, Article 20, right? As well as the Constitution. It reads, everyone has the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association, right? No one may be compelled to belong to an association. To save economic finance, you don't need insurance on your car. You can't be forced to have health insurance. You can't force to have home insurance. So that's saving money. That's learning law. You see? So this is more than just nationalize and then whatever, right? It's you can save finance because you know something. Another example. That
right there, when you get your taxes done, and now they're trying to charge like, what is it, up to between $600 and $900 if you don't have health insurance this year.
And so they're penalizing you for something you don't need. And most of our people think they need it. And then again with the whole taxes thing, we already went into the fact IRS is a government. So exactly. So we need to note this stuff helps save. Yeah, it's not real money, but it helps save economic finance.
It helps save our energy.
Exactly, because these Federal Reserve notes are representatives of our energy and what we put our energy into. You see what I'm saying? So, like even like just someone I know, and you know him too. He applies for grants, right? Grant money for his music thing or helping out the community. Rights of indigenous people, we don't need to be asking for no grant. We tell them we need this, and they're supposed to give it to us. But we keep coming from a subservient position like we're applying for a grant. When we need to realize we don't need to apply for nothing. We say, we need this. And then since you're on our land, our estate, everything you do is against our estate, you are obligated to give it to us. Especially since you've been destroying our communities, gentrifying everything, killing our people in the street, you're obligated to help us. Now since we're displaying mental confidence where we know our status, we correct our status, we know we're home, we know we're Moors, we know you're Europeans, not Americans, give us what's ours or get off our land. Now that's taking it to the next level. We need to start like, oh, I don't need to have insurance. I can save money that way.
Yeah.
I don't need to work as hard. You see, it can go all the way over there, what I just said, or it can go, I don't need health insurance. I can spend my finance on getting whatever. You know?
That's like what we were talking about in the car earlier. Everything begins in your mind.
Yeah, man is mind. Yep.
So first we need to start waking up and educating as many people as we can.
Yeah, and that's why Noble Jolly said, in order to change the people, change their literature. We keep reading where we were slaves, we were beaten, we were whipped. Some of that's true, but to think all of that, to have all of that in your mind is unhealthy. You know what I mean? To not know who you are, to not have an identity, is unhealthy. To not know what land you come from is unhealthy. And that's just, and I'm not just saying that as a branded person, because you know we're all branded black no matter where we go, but we know we're not, right? I'm speaking that from just a human being. Like, can you imagine if some Asian person didn't know where they were from in Asia? Like, how do you think they would feel? That's how we feel. The problem is, a lot of our people keep saying it's post-traumatic slavery syndrome. It's not post-traumatic slavery syndrome. We're suffering from continued inquisition, terrorism, the Christian Crusades. That's what we're suffering from still. And people need to know. You need to know what's wrong with you. In order to fix the problem, you have to know what's wrong with you. I can't go to the doctor and be like, the doctor said, oh, what's wrong with you? I was like, I don't know. What do you want me to fix? And then if I go to the doctor and say, oh, someone hurt my feelings, I can't fix that. So we can't go to the international court saying, oh, we're suffering from racism. They can't hear that. But they can hear genocide. They can hear terrorism. They can hear human trafficking. Because that's what they've been doing with these commercial contracts and in these commercial courts, stuff like that. This all has to do with standing on your square. If you don't know what's going on around you, how can you stand on, what square are you standing on?
Yeah.
And that's also part of the game. That's why they miseducate us, and our people know that. You see, one thing I also notice is our people, you know, we know we're miseducated by the European, but then we have all this passion, and we're basing it off what they taught us, or based off of what so-called Negro who went to one of their schools learned from them. Like, what? Like, what are you thinking? Like, how do you possibly expect for your oppressor to give you the keys to your salvation? That's just something I never understood before I went into this knowledge. I always seen that and I never got it. Like, why do we keep expecting that? Why do we keep saying justice or else? Why do you expect your oppressor to give you justice? Institute your own tribunals, which we have the right to do. That's diversity of citizenship, right? Every like when we went to the law library, there was a Korean flag there. The Koreans are letting you know that they're there. I'm pretty sure they have an embassy somewhere, so that's where they can go to. That's our Moorish Science Temple of America. Those are our regencies. That's where we go. Oh, these Europeans are harassing us. Okay, come to the temple. The Grand Sheikh, who's been hopefully speaking to the so-called governor, has relations like, don't touch our people. An example, you was telling me, your brother, he's in the New York territory, right? He said he's seen some Jew, some European, pale-skinned European claiming to be Jew, get arrested, right? Yeah. And then what happened?
The police, well, the so-called police officer, turned him over to Jewish authority.
Because that's diversity of citizenship.
And they dealt with their own people.
That's jurisdiction. These Europeans don't have jurisdiction over us. That's why when they arrested me, they had to let me go. Because I'm not Negro, Black, Colored, Indian, West Indian, Spanish, Afro-Rican, African-American. I'm none of that. Because they're dealing with universal law. They know what's going on. They had to let me go. They stole my stuff. They'd rather deal with that karma than deal with we stole a human being. You see what I'm saying? Like, all of this is at play at all times. Our people need to know that. They need to know that once we say who we are, our status is different. Literally. Literally, and these Europeans literally know it. So we're not dealing with Negro problems anymore. Still dealing with problems because, you know, we're still under European colonization, but it's a different level of problems. You know, it's like you're that much closer to salvation. You just need the rest of your people like, come on, please. So that main point was when the so-called Jew got arrested, the police, the Europeans, turned him over to the Jewish community. We don't have that. You know what I mean? That's a big problem. Like that's something we desperately need. And that's what the temples are supposed to do. You know, it's supposed to be our salvation. You know, like we go there, like, get these Europeans off my back. Because I didn't do anything wrong. Because most of the time, our people don't do anything wrong. So-called weapons possession, you have the right to bear arms. Did you hurt anyone? No? Then why are you going through this bullshit system? And we all know it's bullcrap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a problem. It really is.
But still,
Mm-hmm.
there's always going to be issues at hand. Like,
Yeah.
with dealing with suits like this. Because, like, this is the thing. You need certain resources
Yeah.
to the certain goals and the certain missions and things that need to be established.
Yeah.
Takes a lot.
Yeah.
All of us in this room know that.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like some people may not want to play into the whole government thing, but they're like, hold up, I still need this, I still need that.
Yeah. Now, what if you just got it from your own government, your own people?
Okay, but that has to be established. And
Yeah.
our people have been so segregated and separated
Yeah, yeah.
for the longest amount of time that to unite everyone, not that it would be impossible, but
Mhm.
it would take quite a lot.
Yeah.
You still can do what you can with what you can.
Yeah.
Like, we have the resources to make videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, all three of us were at the law library that's open to the public and free.
Mm-hmm.
So you still can start, like, baby steps.
Just talking, yeah.
Yeah. Like, even, we have to change literature. We have to get people reading first.
Yeah, interested in reading.
Yeah.
Because one of the main things, the reason why I didn't want to read, I keep hearing about how I'm Negro, how I'm black, how my people beat and murdered. I don't want to read that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to read none of that. And then I realized, oh, we made Europe what it is.
Mm-hmm.
We taught them how to take showers. They weren't using washcloths. Some of them still don't. You know?
They really don't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they wasn't taking showers every day. We brought that. We brought them that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So now I'm like, okay, now I know which books to read.
So we're doing what we can. We're changing their media to guide them to change their literature.
Yes. Perfect. Perfectly said, right? And as far as the unification of our people, when Trump was elected president for the United States Corporation Company, there was thousands of people in the street saying, "Nah, why president? We can unify.
Mm-hmm.
If we can march and pray, we can unify.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get together to shoot a music video, we can unify."
Mm-hmm.
I don't. To me, that's an excuse. It's going to be hard to unify. Have you seen the Million Man March?
Okay.
Have
All right. You know, I was saying it's going to be hard to unify in regards to actually people coming together and establishing our own councils and our own courts and things like that.
And what I'm saying is if we can go to a concert, if we can go see Chris Brown sing, right? Why can't we do this?
Okay, because that's something that the people are not passionate about. Yet again, I will bring it back to the point I made earlier. They have to have a motive. They have to be attached to it. They have to want to seek this. Period.
Ending this is a motive.
No one's gonna. Please, you know why people are listening to us? Because people want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're right.
None of these people that are listening to us right now are just listening to us off the strength of just that alone.
Because they're making a choice.
They have their reasons as to why.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So.
You're right.
But we can change that. I didn't know anything a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And here's my cousin sending me videos, sending me things to read. He's changing me.
You know what I'm saying? It's great.
You.
I'm making the choice to change.
Yeah.
But just grab our brothers and our sisters and help them.
What I'm saying is it's great to have the research and everything, but not everyone's going to have the same drive as someone else. They can pick up something, learn something real quick, and just boom and keep it pushing.
Yep, and here's my thing, right?
Some people are only excuse me for 1 second,
you're right,
please.
You're right.
Objection.
On what grounds? No, I'm kidding.
On the grounds that I'm making a valid point here.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you made me lost it. I have to get back on that.
Oh, you're saying, you know, now everyone's gonna have that drive to.
Oh yes,
do this, yeah.
not everyone's gonna have that drive to want to sit there and to learn those things and go through that. Like some people are just gonna remain at the surface, and then there's gonna be some people that really go in depth and get into the inner part of everything.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Actually breaking down the layers and stuff like that. But some people are only gonna stay surface. They're gonna use a couple of things, you know, utilize it, make it practical, and keep it pushing.
Yep.
Some people are really gonna hone into it and say, no, like I'm standing my square, and this is what it is, and this is the facts, and that's law.
Yes.
Point blank. Period.
And you know what's great about that? That's
Noble
great that you're saying
Drew
that.
said
Noble Drew Ali,
everybody
there's enough work for everyone to do. For everyone to do. No one has to do what I do and just read this all day and try to figure stuff out, right?
No.
And her as an example, she doesn't have to sit in front of the camera and speak like we're doing, but she has a camera. She's providing the camera. The cop stole mine. You see, there's enough work for everyone to do.
Yes, there is.
We need farmers.
Okay. Yes.
We
all
need
that.
chefs. You know.
Yeah, some people just want to fight.
Yeah.
We eventually will need a military of our own.
Yeah.
This is Sparta.
Noble Drew Ali said, "I'm a prophet and a general." So clearly, every
But
nation
see,
has
the
a
generals
military.
really like lay that shit down. They don't play.
Yeah, that's why.
Everything that they have, we need to replace with our own.
It's everything.
Banks.
Everything that they have is ours. They just control it.
Yeah.
What we need to learn how to do is learn how to administrate it, because it's going to get handed back over to us. We need to be ready for that. So yes, there has to be people able to break it down, flip it, boom, 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 so that they can explain it to someone, so someone doesn't have to go through that work, so they can just start managing. You know what I mean? Like I brought all these books and more, so my children don't have to. I don't have children yet, but I'm doing it so that they don't have to. Because then it's just kind of like I started off at a different point. Now I'm trying to set it up so my children can start off at a higher point. Like you're getting this when you're young. Noble Drew Ali said it came for the children and yet unborn. So you don't have to live through the same thing I lived through. Seeing when we lived in New York, right? I thought gunshots were fireworks because they sound the same. There's a shootout going on and I'm just like a child. Like that's not normal.
Me too. Yeah.
That's a problem.
I was in the city too.
Yeah, I know you was.
Growing up too. So.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No. It's.
That's crazy. But it's a norm. That's not normal. That's not peaceful. That sucks. But anyway,
now's the time to get your skills together.
Yeah.
Learn what you can.
Yeah.
Learn what you love. Learn what you need. And then
learn where your spot. Like what's your niche in life? You know, what is it?
Because everything is valuable.
Yeah.
I love technology and cameras. I'm able to help with that because I have that skill.
Yeah. Yep.
That's it. It's that simple.
Exactly.
Really, once you know, every little thing you have, you can add into it.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about what was it, last week? Now that I know some things, how can I, instead of paying this United States, instead of paying them with all my taxes in my check, how can I pay my own people? Because I'd rather spend money on us than them. So it's
Noble Drew Ali said it takes finance to raise a nation.
Every little thing, every little thing will help.
Finance.
Yeah. But what's finance?
Okay.
No, I mean.
You want to pull it out? Because that's per usual, you know? That's what you always do, Jamal. Let's see what it is. Pull it out, right?
You want to read it?
No, I don't. You can take the liberty. Thank you.
Let's see if I know how to spell.
Because we're dealing with specifics.
Yeah, we are. Always. Finances. Money, resources generally, period. The state of the finances of an individual or corporation being his condition in a monetary point of view. The cash he has on hand and that which he expects to receive as compared to the engagements he has made to pay. So money, resources generally. Heat, water, electricity, those are all resources. Rights and indigenous peoples, as we have the right to our resources back. The issue is Europeans are controlling it. So since they have national grid, they're controlling how much power our people get. So therefore, we have to pay them. But since we realize we're home, this is our land, we're not paying them crap because it's ours. They're just administrating it. Oh, you're a trustee, discharge that debt. This is how we should be thinking. Finance. It takes finance to raise a nation, you see? It's not just money. Resources generally.
Yeah, and it's about economics, all that stuff goes into play.
Yeah, but all of that is derived from the land. We need our land back.
Okay, but I'm not, okay. I'm not saying we don't.
Yeah, I know you're not.
All right?
No,
So
I'm not disputing what you're saying.
The point is, the people only gonna fight if they feel like there's a purpose. They gotta have a damn good reason, cause they're just not gonna do it. Like I'm telling you, it does. You could take this book and just shove it in their face, and they'll be like,
but I'm not gonna do that because I already know that's gonna get rejection.
Like, no, what I'm saying is you can just put all the information right there, and some people are still gonna choose to ignore it.
You're right.
Yeah, some people need rock bottom.
And here's my thing. How can you ignore it when this is going on? How? Why?
Because they're worried that they're going to be next.
So let's do something so they're not next.
Okay, well, when you find out the people that they can go and line up together to do something, then let them know.
Yep, here's my thing, right? I served in the military. I didn't know that United States Corporation was a company, democracy, all that negative stuff, right? I didn't know that. If I knew this information, I would never serve them. I would have served my people.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So those same people that are joining the Marines, like I was a Marine, let's try to reach these Moors who think they're Negro Black Cub. Let's tell them they control our military now and they're using it wrongly. They're using it to conquer people and not liberate them. But they're saying, we're going to give these people democracy. We need to know what democracy is because it's not for the people. You see what I'm saying? That's part of the issue. Like once I realized what was going on, I realized that my good heart and my ignorance was dangerous. People with good hearts who are ignorant to, they don't have certain information, they're dangerous. I'm a prime example. I was serving in the United States Marine Corps, one of the most elite militaries in the world. And I thought my people were bombed from those people over there. Because that's what they wanted me to think. That's a problem. And then no one defeats the Moors. That's why the United States Corporation Company has been winning, because once they started putting us in their militaries, they've been winning. They've never lost. Because no one defeats the Moors. We can only defeat ourselves. That's a problem. So if you're looking for those people, they're
I'm not looking for those people. No, you already know.
I'm saying
man is supposed
in your
to be
hypothetical situation, you were saying where are those people?
Oneself.
I'm saying in your hypothetical situation, you're saying where are those people? All of those people are serving Rome, and they don't know it. That's where they are.
Okay.
And I'm trying to be the veteran who says, hey, don't do that.
Well.
And I'll tell you. You know what I mean?
Like I said, you're only going to awaken or get the people that want to find out, or they have a reason to know.
Everybody does it in their own time, if never at all.
Yeah.
Or if they get started.
No, what I'm saying is some people are just gonna be cool for the rest of their lives with being with a social security number. Oh, I get my social security when I'm 70, and I'll just be fine.
The best you can do is give them the information and let them make their own choice.
Yeah, like that's it. Yeah, that's all you can do is just give people the information. They're gonna do what they want to do with it, but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I'd like to get back to standing on your square, right? Because all of this has been about standing on your square. Because it's dealing about knowledge and the lack thereof. I lack knowledge, so I served Rome. I didn't even know it. But still, ignorance is no excuse. So like you said, when our people in these courtrooms and the magistrates saying, "Do you understand what's going on?" Our people really don't, but they say, "Yeah." If you don't know, just say you don't know.
Well, no, because they just want to pay the fine and get the hell out of there.
True.
Because they're worried about what happens if I go to jail.
True.
Or they don't want to keep going and have to go pay to go back and forth between court, hiring an attorney who doesn't have their best interest at heart, who their obligation is to the courts. So when you're dealing with it in those retrospects,
it seems like a lot of work.
People are just going to choose to pay and keep it pushing.
Yeah, you're right.
And how about tribunal court, your first offense? You want to use your good driver's record?
Yeah, when it's all a fraud anyway.
Yeah. we're gonna waive the court fine. Yeah, shove it. Because they already know.
And you're absolutely right.
Like I know, I know I am
right.
Okay.
Like, and it's just amazing because other people know. Other people would say what you're saying.
Okay, but they're not gonna act on it.
I know.
Not everyone's gonna act on it and actually stand there square and hone in on that.
And that's why everybody has a job. Like that's not necessarily something that I feel like I can handle.
Mm-hmm.
That's something Jamal can handle.
Like I'll tell you something. I did something petty, right? It's not petty. I'm saying on principle, right?
Let me hear this.
Yeah.
Cause Mr. Peace, love, and all that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And this is I'm gonna explain to you. This is petty,
Mm-hmm.
right? I traveled through a toll. It was $1.50. Right? Constitution says, Article 6, all debts contracts entered into before the adoption of the Constitution shall be the supreme law of the land. Right? Articles of Confederation, Article 4 says we have the right to free ingress and regress to and from every state. Right? And they're trying to charge me this toll tax that costs $1.50. It costs me more to send a rebuttal in the mail than to pay the $1.50. To me, that's petty, but that's standing on principles. That's standing on my square. I'm not paying you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's the principle of it.
But I could afford that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But the issue is to fix
to hold them accountable to their stuff.
So that when our people can't afford it, they don't have to worry about doing that. It's everyone knows the supreme law of the land is we don't got to pay that anyway. Mm-hmm. So stop doing it, criminals, and we know they're criminals. Mm-hmm. You know, let's just wake the people up to say stop doing it. See now,
depending on the day of the week, I might just be like, let me just pay this $150 today, because I pick my battles wisely, okay? So
I mean, you're right.
Let me just, because it'll just be my luck the day I decide not to pay it. Woo! That'll be one of them.
You're right. Yo, you are absolutely right.
We taking you down. You didn't want to pay that $1.50.
And that's why I always mention the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's our regency. Oh, you're pulling me over? All right, let me call my sheik who's a sheriff. Hey, Grand Sheik, European so-and-so is pulling me over, questioning me on my land. Oh, word? All right, Grand Sheik called the so-called governor. Hey, governor, get your bounty men off my people. And the governor's supposed to say, oh, yes, sir, and then hang up because this is our land. Oh, if you don't want to do that, okay, hey, United Nations, you know, Special Committee of 24 Decolonization, get this person off my stuff. Mm-hmm. Or we're supposed to be able, in a capacity, to kick them off. Mm-hmm. Like that, your situation is correct. I'm kind of like, if we have this set up, you wouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, because everybody would have their job.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, until it's established.
We're just going to keep talking about it until it happens. And doing what we can until it happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else can we do?
You gotta start somewhere.
Besides just complaining, we have to start talking about implementing plans.
Exactly.
And that's what this kind of is about, you know? Because, yeah, you're right, pick your battles, you know, learn to live and fight another day. You know, it's just, I was trying to give you an example.
That's why I was referenced it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
You're going to be ready to go off the map. Because let me tell you guys something, I'm going to let it be known right now. When stuff hits the fan and they're coming for everyone, guess what? And I gotta throw my law books and all that to the side and go off the map and hit the book. Guess what? I'm dipping and I'm out. So, survival of the fittest. Like, it's great to have this, but you need it. This is what I'm saying. When it really comes down to detaching oneself, you have to be ready at any given moment to go off the map. Even though I have 2 children, if something was to happen right now, I'm good to go. And that's on everything I love. So, because I know what I'm up against. Like, I've been practicing and looking into stuff for almost 7 years. So, it's kind of like, I'm ready. I don't know about y'all. I'm ready. And see, me, I'm not going to lie. I had a BJ's membership card, so I got all them waters and all that stuff in bulk. Oh, yeah. Please. So, I'm pretty good on some stuff there.
Yeah, so
but, what I'm saying is people need to be ready too, because at the end of the day, you never know what you could be hit with. So
you're right.
It's kind of like...
And what you're talking about is like the Rex 84, the Executive Order 1149, when they plan to exterminate all these so-called black people.
Oh, listen.
We need to be ready for
it. What about, you know about the list, right? The yellow, red, and blue list?
Good, go on.
Don't quote me, because I ain't looked at it in like 4 years. But apparently this has to do in regards to when martial law goes into effect. Now they have...
Well, we're already in martial law, but...
Yes, we are, but listen, in regards to this list. So, back to the list. Now, if you're yellow, that means they're able to bring you to the FEMA camps and pretty much reprogram your mind. So that way you'll go back into servitude in serving them. And okay, so now if you're blue, that means you have knowledge in regards to what's going on with genocide, things of that nature, but you don't have enough people backing you. But they're still gonna kill you because they know they're not gonna be able to turn you like the yellow. And then red means they're just killing you on sight because you have actual people that are backing you, that know about this, that are riding with you. So once they see you, it's just on sight. And now they talked about like doing this at about 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, and then going through different projects and starting off in communities of like that because of how the blueprints and everything is laid out and how they're just going to infiltrate and come in. So, and I think this was back when Obama was in office. I think he actually signed off on something in regards to this.
And what's interesting about what you're saying is, even with the Moorish Science Temple of America, they prepared for that, to counter Noble Draw League. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the things that in the King Alfred Plan, Executive Order 11490, it says, they're talking about the information packets that they hand everyone. Mm-hmm. Always the more are going to get, the less information, right? So it says, leaders who do not have such usable material in their dossiers have been approached to take government posts, mostly as ambassadors and primarily in African countries. The promise of these positions also has materially contributed to a temporary slowdown in minority activities. So we need to know, like, some of these so-called black leaders are really informants to slow down our progress. So when the killing goes on, like it says, it is necessary to use these minority leaders designated by the president in much the same manner in which we use minority members who are agents with central and federal. So these so-called black leaders, so-called Indian leaders claiming to be for the people, they're agents. They're selling us out. They don't want us to know that we need to prepare for something. Like you're talking about, you got all this water. They don't want us to know like these FEMA camps are real. Like there's a real issue.
No, and this is the thing. When you actually look into the stuff, you can see the executive orders that was signed off on. Yeah. And this is dating before Obama was in office, Trump. So that's what I'm saying. When you start actually breaking down and looking through these things, you're like, oh snap.
And
this is real.
That's where all that we were talking about the videos of the EDC's everyday carry.
Yeah, the Europeans talking about the guns and stuff like that.
Yep, all those, there's a lot of Europeans out there giving these DIY, how to bunker down, how to get your reserves.
Because they know what's up.
Yeah.
They're not trying to live off noodles like us.
So we're really a step behind.
But see, that's the thing. If you go and find these things out, you'll be like, okay, I need this, I need that. And that's the thing. Like, you gotta be in that mind state. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's great to know this, but who's really in the mind state of ready and able to survive for whatever comes our way? Who really is? Like, who's ready to go off the map? Who's ready to leave their phones? Who's ready to say bye to whoever? Whoever's not coming with or whatever, goodbye. Good luck. Yeah. Not a lot of people are going to be ready to do that. So who's really ready to suit up and book?
For the people. Not a lot. Really. All right. So now, since we're talking about all this stuff, the emergency, because that's what they're talking about. Now we don't want to put fear into people's minds. We just want to let them know, like, this is a possibility. Prepare for it, right? So the whole Black Lives Matter thing, the whole race war thing, that's what it's set up to do, to cause the emergency, so this stuff. So they can start assassinating people, right? And here's what the Europeans are talking about, right? So this memo is being submitted in lieu of a full report from the Joint Chiefs of Staff. That report is now in preparation. There will be many cities where the minority, they're talking about us, will be able to put in the streets a superior number of people. Now let's stop right there. How are we the minority, meaning less numbers, but we can put more people in the streets? So that's the mindset, right? So a bunch of people who don't know what's going on, they're going to be in the streets trying to fight, right? With a desperate and dangerous will. They don't even know who they're fighting, and they're dangerous. Remember that ignorance with a good heart, that's dangerous. He will be a formidable enemy, for he is bound to the continent by heritage and knows that political asylum will not be available to him in any other countries. Meaning, they know that these so-called Negro, blacks, and colors ain't going to be going to Africa seeking some type of refuge. They know that they're bound to this continent by heritage, because this ain't India, this ain't New England, and we ain't Negro, black, colored. We're Moors. They know we're from here. You see what I'm saying? So these Europeans are looking at us like we're talking about the same situation that these Europeans are talking about. But they're looking at it like we already know these Negroes can't run nowhere. Because we're home. Where else are we going to run to? We can't run home because we're already home. We can't run to Africa because we're already in Africa. You see what I'm saying? That sense of knowing that you're home. Attachment again. Because they're really planning to exterminate our people. But the more that we can lift to mental competence, the less killing happens. You see? And then the more that we'll have more community groups like, oh, you got some water? I got this much water. Yeah. And we can just combine resources. You got some cans? I got
Exactly.
Oh, you know how to grow food? You got seeds? You know, oh, you know how to collect rainwater, but they keep saying is illegal? How? In order for a crime, there just has to be an injured party. How is that illegal? Stupid. Like, we need to really free our people's mindset from this whole...
You don't have the pressure of being a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
You know what you know and share it.
Yeah.
And trade it.
And that's one of the things Obama said, like, it's going to be to the point where, what can you offer? Not just, oh, you look cool, or, you know, you look a certain way. No, what can you do for people? Because, you know, the problem is we started thinking like the colonists until Noble Drew started dropping that consciousness. We've been so busy trying to live off our people like the Europeans live off of us. Why do we keep doing that? Let's go back to our ancient mothers and fathers. Let's build our community again. Let's stop trying to be the boss and let's do something. Yeah.
It's like if the internet went down today, what skills would you have?
Do you even know someone's address so you can write a letter to? Do you know how to write a letter? Can you even write? I mean, my penmanship is bad, but when I really sit down, because this is how I write, you know, I can do some work, you know. But anyway.
Back to standing on your square.
Standing on your square. Even dealing with the emergency, standing on your square is knowing you're home, knowing that there's gonna be a race war and there's gonna be our people out on the streets, not really even knowing who the enemy is. That's dangerous. Stand on your square. Don't get involved in that emotional stuff. Don't get involved in that Black Lives Matter. Don't get involved in that. It doesn't help anyone. That's why Europeans are funding it, right? Do the research on Black Lives Matter. Is a European who creates it and they fund it. Because you know, black means pale, so you're saying European lives matter. So why are you out there marching and praying? That's that desperate and dangerous will. Because there's a problem going on, but we don't know really what it is. We're just saying Black Lives Matter. So stand on your square. Be able to separate what's really going on from the emotions and the propaganda that they're putting in the news and in the TV and stuff like that.
But they do that purposely.
Yeah.
Because they want that to perpetrate.
Yeah, exactly.
And they making sure that they get certain emotions out from the people. Turn off your TVs for about a week. Yeah. And then let me know how y'all feel.
Yeah, be able to think for yourself.
Don't watch no news. Don't watch no Grey's Anatomy, Desperate Housewives, Bad Girl Clubs, Love and Hip Hop. None of that. Yeah. Then get back to me and let me know. Yeah. If you had some clear thoughts. You probably will.
For real, you'll see different. You'll see things for what they really are.
The battery's about to run out if you guys want to wrap it up.
Oh, yeah, I mean, standing on your square.
No, but that's the thing. Make sure that once you know certain things, you stick to that and you stick to your guns. Yeah. Because you can't knowledge. You can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Like, you gotta, if you're gonna stand, you gotta stand strong.
And the Bible says you can't serve two masters. You can't ride the fence. Either you're with your people or you're not. That's why, you know, nationality is who you have allegiance to. Either you're with your people or you're not. It's clear. It doesn't get any more complicated than that. If you're black, you don't know whose side you're on. Yeah. And that's the truth. That's absolute truth. You really don't know whose side you're on. You don't know if you're a Republican or a Democrat. You don't know if you're from that place in Africa or that place in Africa. You know? Or people say, oh yeah, I'm half black, half West Indian, half... None of that's real. What are you talking about? You know, let's deal with reality. That's standing on your square, dealing with reality. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, just fight the good fight.
And whatever that is, whatever fight that is, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
My fight's not the same as yours, yours not the same.
make sure you stand strong, and you're confident in your walks of life with whatever and everything you do.
Mm-hmm. And with that, we say peace.
Peace.